Well, good morning, everybody on YouTube land. Good to have you along. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead about 17, 18 minutes before we start the radio side. Just getting on here a little bit early. Get all the radio stations, get everybody that I need to get on hooked up and ready to go here. So that is what's going on this morning. Good to have you along. So, yeah. Well, I think it's been a while. I've been on the road doing my show from all over the place. Morning, Waylon. Time for me to get back into the swing of things here. Mr. Bolgi, good to have you. Jim, good day. Dave, thank you for tuning in. Ooh. There's some floaties in that one. Ivermectin shot of the day. How's it going, Mike? Good morning. Going in like, ouch. I just ripped that right out of my ear. So I've been doing ivermectin, I don't know how long. Been doing this, got to be over 2.5 years now, isn't it? I don't know. And for all of yous that thought I was going to die after the first couple months, I'm still here. Cheers to you. Nice sunny morning here. Beautiful day until the snowstorm hits us this evening. KGFX, good morning, guys. Morning, Pierre, South Dakota. Yeah. Got to find something better to mix that with. Yikes. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's terrible. Whew. That'll keep the hair growing on a person's chest right there, I'll tell you that. Woo. All right. I think it's time to get the Warren on. Not an easy number to remember. Morning. Cheers to you.
Forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 830643.
Is that right? Huh. Let's try that again, shall we? Oh, it sends straight to voicemail. Interesting. Very interesting here. Let's see what this is.
Morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, Scott?
Just dandy. We are live on YouTube as a pre-show for a few minutes, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good.
Yeah.
So,
how the hell you been, man?
Oh, I've been too damn busy, but it's all good. I mean, so hell, I sit here and think, people say, "When are you going to retire?" I said, "Shit, I don't know what I do when I retire." I ran into a guy the other day that one of used to shoot commercials for a big outfit I dealt with, and he's now retired. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "I worked all my life so I could retire and do what you've been doing all your life." So, okay, I better shut up,
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So anyway, but it's all good. I mean, I'm trying to look at our state legislature is in session, and it's just a disheartening thing seeing what's going on in politics, and so anyway, all that same stuff.
Same thing up this way. We're in session, and it's troubling because every year they start out with so our Game and Fish is basically controlled by the legislature. There's no advisory board or commission or anything. So the big thing is the Game and Fish wanted to ban baiting in most of North Dakota because it's spreading CWD.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And I know
Right.
they're scientists, and they know that, right?
Oh, they're biologists, and by God, that's the word, right
Right.
there. So,
Yeah.
so the thing is that they went to the whole bunch of people went to the legislature, like, no, we're not gonna give you the power to do this. So now they're like, well, maybe banning it during big game season and doing this and doing this. It's like, when are you gonna stop this? Because what's a bait pile? Is a food plot a bait pile? You can't hunt over that. I mean, eventually they're
How about a water hole?
exactly.
Give me a
It's just gonna
frickin'
lead on
break.
to the next thing, and it's sickening right now. The whole
Oh yeah.
CWD thing is just terrible. We had like not last year, but the year before, we had EHD during that drought.
Right.
It killed on our place here, Keith. I have a lease place in our ranch here. Every whitetail, it just decimated every whitetail on the river, and that fed
Mm.
into the mule deer. Our mule deer population is just terrible, and they're like,
So they're worried about CWD
exactly.
that has never killed had to kill off anywhere in the country.
Yeah,
It's like, but they're doing what it is the wildlife agencies really don't get me started. They are a bunch of damn special interest groups. They've got their interest. It is not based upon science. It's their special interest, no different than BLM or no different than defund the police. They're a special interest group. They deal off of whatever they deal with, but it's not in the best interest of the people. Okay, and so these fishing game departments they are not run by people that are like us. I mean, we are very concerned about wildlife and the future of wildlife and the future of our land, and also our private property owner rights. And these people at the government, they strip us of that. And I mean, it's just every time these sessions they go into session, they're there to strip us of more of our rights. Period.
yeah.
And the thing about it is, don't you think we have enough laws already? I mean, maybe. I mean, come on. How about enforcing the laws that we have?
How about making them make the laws black and white? Don't say, well, each game warden can interpret the law how they wish.
Arbitrarily.
No.
It's like, yeah, right. Because the game wardens are even scared to make a decision with, yeah, I think I'll do this or that. Or you know what? Some of these game wardens, they just want to get a chip on the shoulder. They're going to write you a damn ticket and let the judge figure it out. It's like, come on. We know we have to have regulations. We know we have to. But, let's have sensible regulations that are good for everybody and not just, that are so restricted that you can't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only that, but you're telling me as a private landowner, I can't put mineral out on my own property. Really?
Right.
Really?
Right.
You're telling me that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's like over in Montana, Wyoming, you shoot a deer in Wyoming or in Montana, you can't carry it over to Wyoming or vice versa because of damn CWDs, whatever. It's like, wait a minute. I think we ought to put signs on the border right there between Broadus and Gillette, say, stop, go back. It's kind of like the people at the Mexico border down here in Texas. Stop, go back. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They don't read either.
Yeah. That's one thing we don't have an influx of Canadians trying to get into North Dakota up here. So I'm glad we don't have to deal with that like you guys have down that way.
Well, maybe what all these people are trying to do down here that are coming across are headed to North Dakota.
It seems like it. The drugs at least are making their way up this way.
Oh my God! Yeah, you turn on TV and you see that stuff. Thank good Lord, those people that are taking the drugs, they clearly don't have enough to do in their life.
Yeah.
They don't get up in the morning, have to go work on cows and make sure that they hadn't froze to death, their ears hadn't froze off.
Yeah. Hold on a second, Keith. Stations 70100 70100 as a time check here on 70100 on Mark. So I'm sorry about that. I just got to give times for some of the stations have to time things out a little bit differently.
No, that's okay. I got it.
Yeah. So, but otherwise, how's the family?
No, everybody's good.
Good.
I mean, we're good. We got I wound up. We're over in Spain here about 3 weeks ago, and I went over there and shot. I don't know. Have you ever heard of a driven hunt?
No.
I mean, you go on these giant pieces of property and they'll take 100 dogs and throw them out there on the ground, and I mean, the bottom line is the dogs are on the animal sitting and you smoke them. I mean,
Wow.
It's like there's a whole lot more to it than that, but it's like I'd never done that. It just sounds to me, it sounds like a lot of fun, but it sounds like one of those things. Is it ethical? And so, I went over there and it was the most wonderful.
Yeah.
It was what an experience. And
you go to Europe and they use dogs for pretty much everything, don't they? I mean, it's a big area where they like to use dogs.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the deal about it is these aren't the dogs that you're going to get up on your lap and pet. I mean,
Yeah.
these are like working dogs. I mean, I shot a
they know
moose on
their job.
sheep. Oh, I shot the sheep, and they run up there and they eat the sheep on the ground. It's like, whoa. I'm talking about they ate it like a pack of wolves, and then they took off to the next. And it's like, okay, they're just doing their job.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of cool that doing what I do for a living. I get all different faces with people in all different places and all that. I get to see so many different hunting styles. Like, and that's the reason why. I mean, like at SCI the other day, they asked me. I was doing seminars, and they said, "What do you want to do a seminar?" And I said, "I want to do a seminar on defining fair chase hunting."
Yes.
And they said, "What?" And I said, "Oh yeah, you sure you want to do that?" Yeah. I hope somebody can come in here and tell me what fair chase hunting is. I said, serious? I said, yeah, I want to know. I've only been doing this since I was a pup, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Clearly, I don't know. So anyway, that's what I did.
Yeah. It's like somebody was telling me about crossbows, or like, wow, that technology is so new. I'm like, do you realize crossbows were around 600 BC?
Well, also at the same time, they're probably telling you on the telephone. It's like,
this was
a
keyboard warriors. But I was having an argument with somebody, and I just gave up. I was like, there's really no reason to sit there and try to argue to somebody, especially on the internet. There's no use of it.
Their minds are made up, and we did that thing years ago. I don't know if you saw it. I got so confused, and I was just perplexed on what is fair chase hunting. And because like I say, I hunt all over the world and every different method there is. And so we created something on a television show called the American Fair Chase Hunting Club. And it's like, okay, so this fictitious club is going to be, this is where all the fair chasers are going to be. Okay. And so we came up with this comedian named Timmy Edwin, and he's a goofball buddy of mine. Anyway, he is the president of the American Fair Chase Hunting Club. So every single one of our television shows, we did like a 60-second little skit. And it would start out with me walking down the trail maybe and saying, howdy, everybody. I'm supposed to meet Timmy Edwin here. And I can't find him. And Timmy's standing right behind me wearing camouflage. I mean, really good camouflage. All of a sudden he goes, I can't find him anywhere. All of a sudden he goes, boo, and he scares me. And I said, Timmy, how long you been here? And he said, I've been sitting here watching you. I said, well, that is the best camouflage in the world. What kind is it? He says, it's Acme and Visitree. And I said, what? He said, the best one in the world. And I said, well, man, is that fair chase? And he looked at me and rolled his eyes. I said, no, I'm just wondering. Can you tell me if that's fair chase? He says, well, I don't know. I said, well, I don't either.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So we started doing that, and the thing is, we stopped doing that because I was told by a lot of people, you sure are making you feel uncomfortable. I said, that's wonderful. I like you feeling uncomfortable, because when you feel uncomfortable, maybe you're using your brain.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the deal, it's like, if you can't define fair chase, just shut up and hunt. Stop criticizing other people.
So Keith, it's 30 seconds of showtime. We're going to go quiet here until then. Okay. So stand by for me here. Stations, about 22 seconds here to showtime. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, nearly 2 decades strong across the Dakota Territory on great radio stations like KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota. Good morning, Pierre, Fort Pierre area. KOLY in Mobridge, South Dakota. KFYR, the voice of the Northern Plains, Bismarck, Mandan. KCJB up in Minot, North Dakota. And the voice of the West, KLTC in Dickinson. Good to have you along here this morning. I'm Scott Bachmeyer here on a beautiful Saturday morning. The winter weather advisory, snowstorm on the way here tonight. But until then, I will be on the road heading up to Williston, North Dakota after the radio program this morning to the DK Red Angus Bull Sale. And just a great family up that way. So I'll be at Sitting Bull Auction here coming up your way in the oil country in the heart of the Bakken later on this morning. From the High Road Hunting Show, you see it on TV all across the internet and the social media. Keith Warren is my guest here. Mr. Warren, good morning. How you doing?
Well, good morning. I am doing fantastic. I'm glad we finally made our schedules connect and we can get on here.
I agree, and I appreciate you taking time out of, you have a national hunting program. And I say this every time you come on. You're the only person that gives me the time of day and willing to come on and talk about different issues on hunting and be honest about it. And I do appreciate that, including I have some people on YouTube right now. If you want to follow me on my live stream, it's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. And Mike says, Keith is such a cool dude, as he posted here on my chat board right now. And I'll tell you this, I was watching some of your videos over the last couple of weeks and using a 50 BMG hunting, and you took down a giraffe. And and I get this, I understand when you're hunting, there's a necessity of taking certain animals out of that group. Could you explain a little bit more what it means to, some people are like, what are you going to do with the giraffe? And some people are upset that you took a giraffe, right? I mean, you get these kind of people, keyboard warriors. Explain it to them why it's important to manage some of this wildlife out there, especially whether it's exotics or not.
I don't care what kind of wildlife it is. It has to be managed. Okay. Yeah. And I don't care whether you're talking about rabbits or you're talking about giraffes. They all have to be managed. And it's real easy for somebody who is not connected to the land or the animals to sit back and cast stones and say, why don't you do this? Why don't you just relocate the giraffe? It's like, well, because he wouldn't get in the trailer. I couldn't figure out a way to do that. Or, these people, but they don't think about things. They're not using their head. And so what happens is that so we make these videos. Now you would think, and I would love to be able to sit down and explain to somebody why the giraffes need to be managed just like coyotes need to be managed or anything else. The problem is that when you sit there and do that, their engagement rate with videos is about 8 seconds. And I'm not kidding. Analytically, we see it's 8 seconds. And if you don't get right to the action, then guess what? They click it out. And so when you tell them the justification, this is the reason why we're doing this, and this is a particular story on this particular piece of property, they tune out. They don't want to hear that. Right. All they want to see is and my dad used to call it hunting porn. It's like, what? And I disagree with him. He says, no, that's all people care about. And I thought, unfortunately, that is what most of the people online do care about. And they want to see the kill shot, and that's it. They don't want to hear the story. And so then they get ticked off because, I don't know. Why didn't you relocate it? What happened to it? I just left it there for the buzzards. Yeah. I mean, come on. But we can't tell them that we had 3 reefer trucks there and 20 different people there to cut it all up, and every single ounce of meat was consumed. I mean, every single thing that could be eaten off that animal was eaten off that animal. Why kill that giraffe? Because he was killing the younger giraffes. We can't go into that because they won't listen. You tell them and they won't listen. And so what happens now, thanks to the internet, and I mean, the internet has allowed you right now to have the streaming YouTube channels. How freaking cool is that?
It is nice.
These people have the ability to respond to us right now, and we listen to what people say because we care. We do give a damn. There's a lot of people that don't. Okay, but when all of a sudden we now air in Germany and Czechoslovakia or where the hell it is, it doesn't matter. We all over the world, thanks to the internet, we get hate mail from all over the world. Okay, these people, they do not understand the American culture, just like I didn't. I was over in Spain. I didn't understand the Spanish culture and a lot of things. But it's like I'm smart enough to know that I'm not smart in those things, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But the keyboard allows these people to open up their mouth, show how stupid they are, and how divided we are. And we live in a world that people want to divide us all. I don't want to divide us. I want to unite us. I want to reach across the aisle and say, hey, man, you may not like me, whatever. You probably don't know me. If you knew me, you'd probably think, hey, we could probably get along in some areas. So the giraffe is a huge issue. Shooting monkeys is another thing. I mean, my God. Oh, my God. I mean, I shoot a monkey on YouTube, and holy crap, you can't even imagine what happens. I mean, and then I get these guys, I mean, we make it real easy for people to hate us. Okay. And what I mean by that, they go to highroadhunting.com and they look at it and, there's the sponsors, and they immediately send a deal. I'll never buy another, fill in the blank, as long as you sponsor Keith Warren. And then they send it to the next guy and the next guy. And these sponsors, they receive these negative complaints from people. And these kids that are running these MBAs, these 30-year-old kids that are now running some of these outdoor companies, don't know the difference between a mule deer and a catfish. They say, "Oh, look, you're offending people." It's like those people have never bought a product in their life, and you're listening to what they have to say. So anyway, the internet has done a real good job allowing us to reach people, but it's done a really bad job because some of these people just they're unhinged. And I think you got to look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, are you happy with yourself? You're happy with your decisions that you made? And as hunters, every time we go on a hunt, we have to say, is this ethical? Okay. And then if it's not, then don't do it.
Exactly. And would you so explain what's ethical from one person to the next person? I mean, that's going to change no matter where you're at. And especially you see it depending on where you hunt across the world too.
I see it and I have lived it. And I think as a hunter, I have had the choice to be able to make a decision whether I want to participate or not participate. Right. And so as a hunter, and somebody has traveled the world like I have, I see the reason why they do things the way they do. And it's like, oh, okay. Like I said, it all gets back to management and conservation. If we want to make sure that these animals are here, this wildlife is here, and our wild country is here after we're dead and gone, well, we better stand up and do a hell of a lot better job than what we're doing now. Okay, and what we're doing, I think we're doing a good job, but we're being overshadowed by people that have an 8-second mentality.
Yeah,
that won't listen to what the hell's going on. It's like these politicians. I mean, these legislative sessions going on around the country, and these guys is nothing but politics is a sewer. It is a septic tank of bad. And I look at it, and the Texas Commission going on now, the stuff going on now. I, honest to God, cannot believe what I have found. And when I talk to people about it, they tell me, "Keith, you better shut up. You're going to piss people off." I say, "But doesn't this piss people off?" Yeah, but why can't we talk about it then? Why can't we talk about the way these politicians are all sleeping with each other? They're all in bed with each other, handing money back and forth to this guy and that guy. How I know, and I wish that somebody listening to this right now would look up the website, transparencyusa.org. It is the coolest website. You can go in there and probably, if any politicians listening right now, they're probably going, "Oh shit, Keith, oh, shut up, shut up." Okay, because transparencyusa.org is a website that you can track where these politicians are getting their money from. Okay. And
is that on the national side? Or is it on the state side as well?
I know, I've done it in Texas.
Hold on here, Keith. We're up against our first break. So hold on to that and hold on to that website. We'll be right back. Keith Warren, more with Keith Warren from the High Road Hunting Show out of Texas. And just telling it like it is. If you want to call in, you sure can. 888-9-DAKOTA. Back after these messages. The DK Red Angus Top Coming to Town production sale, Saturday, March 4th, 2 p.m. at Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota. Selling 70 purebred Red Angus bulls, 6 Angus sired bulls, 40 purebred open heifers, commercial open and bred heifers from the Tofty Ranch, 10 commercial open heifers from Kevin Gunther, and 50 F1 Hereford Red Angus commercial open heifers from the Arrow P Ranch. Bid online at DV Auction. Fresh genetics, calving ease, and good dispositions with the DK Red Angus Top Coming to Town sale, Saturday, March 4th, 2 p.m., Sitting Bull Auction.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
The Sorensen Ranch production sale is Monday, March 6th, 1 p.m. Central Time, Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota. The Sorensen Ranch is your source for Simmental bulls that are bred for docility, longevity, fertility, and calves that'll push the scale down. Selling 42 Sim Angus bulls, 50 commercial heifers. If you would like more information, visit their website at sorensenranch.com or find them on Facebook. And you can bid online sale day at DV Auction. The Sorensen Ranch production sale, Monday, March 6th, 1 p.m. Central at Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
When it comes to picking the right financial institution that best suits your unique banking needs, we invite you to come bank with Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Recently named North Dakota's best small bank and Newsweek's America's Best Banks in 2021, we believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our online and mobile customers, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking. Here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
But don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, continuing all across the Dakota Territory and 6 states, 2 Canadian provinces. My guest is Keith Warren with the High Road Hunting Show out of, he's based out of Texas. Actually, one of the most beautiful areas of Texas, I have to say, Keith. When you, when we were down for Maddie's wedding and you took us out to your ranch, just a great area in that hill country, man. Just beautiful.
Thanks. It's about as pretty of a morning as I've ever seen. I mean, we got flowers out the field, big, beautiful yellow flowers, and the deer walking through there. And it's like, oh my God, this is what people live for. This is what I live for. Get up. This is very therapeutic.
So some of the comments after our first segment here, Eric out of South Dakota says, I haven't watched many hunting or fishing shows for about 19 months, but he says, Keith is getting me into wanting to watch them a little bit more here. So another one from there's a new podcast up in this area. It's called Guns and the 701. And he says, Keith is spot on. And this is why people have to be involved and engaged every single day. And that includes in the political side of things, too. And another one here, North Dakota Mike says, gotta love it. Keith is a straight shooter and tells it like it is. The country would be so much better if more people thought like you. So there you go. Some comments coming in for you. And if anybody wants to call in, 888-932-5682. That's 9 Dakota, if you want to spell it out that way on your phone. So, but yeah. So anyway, we were talking about political. Why? This is the thing: is why is everybody, especially in the hunting side, in the agricultural side, I see both of this. Why is everything so politicized anymore? Why does it always come down to politics, Keith?
Okay, my answer is it's all about the money. I always told the kids growing up, Colton Matty would say something like, "Daddy, why is this? Why is that?" I said, "It's about the money." And now I just, before I was going to break, I was talking about transparencyusa.org.
Yes.
It's about the money. Okay, it's about the money. Okay, and they can lie and they can say, no, it's about, we're going to do what's best for the people. No, it's about the money. Okay, because if it's what's best for the people, then wouldn't you think you deal in science? Okay, these wildlife agencies, and I specifically am talking about wildlife agencies. The wildlife agency, if there is corruption in wildlife agencies, can you only imagine how much corruption there is in like a transportation agency, or in the education, or think about that, or agriculture, or anything, but in the wildlife, specifically wildlife in Texas. That's where this transparencyusa.org stuff came about for me.
Yeah. I
started looking at it, and we in Texas, we have, and I'm sure there's deer farmers that are listening. I'm sure, and you know some of them, and the head of the North American Deer Farmers probably listening. He's in North Dakota. I saw him the other day.
I hope he is. I hope Sean's listening right now.
Listening too. And I mean, I was with last night at the Exotic Wildlife Association, and I ran into some of the directors of North American Deer Farmers, and they were probably, "Oh God, Keith, shut up." But I can't understand why things get done the way they get done. But it has to be about the money. We have somebody in Texas that has been receiving money from deer farmers to represent deer farmers. He's a state representative, as represent deer farmers with our issues. And we understand everybody has to have regulations. We have to. Otherwise, we're going to have society's going to be out of control. But we have to have sensible regulations that are good for everybody. Well, we have a wildlife department that makes these regulations, and we don't think they're sensible, and we think that CWD doesn't discriminate. Okay, I mean, let's look at, if we're going to make CWD the bad guy, then let's make CWD the bad guy. Don't treat these people different than these people. CWD is a problem. But anyway, getting back to politics, I found out that one of our state representatives that we've been paying money to all these years is taking more money from the opposite side, and we can never get a break. We can never win. So I got on this transparencyusa.org, and I found out that he took $5,000 from the commissioner of the wildlife division. It's like, wait a minute. And I found it. And then all of a sudden I found out that he got nearly $80,000 from another guy. It's like, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
Oh, he just happens to be the Speaker of the House. And then I looked at the Speaker of the House. Oh, he got $125,000 from the Wildlife Commissioner, and he just funneled the money over this guy. And I'm like, well, that explains it. It's all about the money.
Follow the money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They can look at you and they'll lie to you, and they can make you feel like they are on your side. And it's like being in a foxhole with somebody fighting for your life, and the guy that you're fighting next to stabs a knife and right in your back.
Yeah.
It's like, what in the hell? I believe in shooting straight, man. That's the reason why you and I are good friends. I believe in shooting straight by God. And if, you know what, you and I don't agree on everything, but that's okay. Okay. But in today's world, if you don't agree on anything, then you're enemies, mortal enemies, And I'm thinking, no. We need to figure out a way to get through all this stuff and work through it. But in politics, it's all about the money.
I'm on transparencyusa.org right now. And it's not every state. I'd say there's probably maybe 15 states that are that you can do this. North and South Dakota are not anywhere. There's no information on that.
Okay.
So how does a person get information? If a state, whether North, South Dakota, Montana, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Iowa, Minnesota, all the states that I'm covering here, only Minnesota is one of them that you can find information out. How can a person get information about this and follow the money? I mean, that would be a good idea.
I don't know. Somebody had told me about this website, and I got on and went, holy crap.
Yeah. Holy crap.
I mean, and so what I wound up started doing, I started looking at the commissioners, at the wildlife commissioners. And you can do this, I'm assuming, because our ag commissioner in Texas, she's on there. Okay, so I went and started checking with her. And the bottom line is there are some very wealthy people in every state. Okay, yes. Very, very wealthy. All right, and most of the time those people have political appointments. Okay, and that's very much the case in Texas. And you can go online in Texas on the Transparency USA And you can punch in who these wealthy people are and see how much money they contribute and who they contribute to. And you think, that's how they're keeping their wealth.
Yes.
That's how they're influencing the votes. Okay. And when all of a sudden I find out the director, our Parks and Wildlife director in Texas, he's supposed to be a good guy. He's got these convenience stores all over the place and they're freaking awesome. Okay. You walk in, he's got everything from fudge to deer feeders in there and boots to coolers to peanut brittle to gas. I mean, it's the biggest stores ever. And he's the head of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission. And all of a sudden I see that he spends $950,000 on political contributions.
Wow.
I wonder if any of that's grease for something. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering. Okay. And so when you walk in there and you're buying this popcorn or your gasoline, you got to wonder how much of your money is actually going for that grease to somebody to buy influence.
Yeah.
Okay. And if it doesn't buy influence, so what the hell is he taking the money? Why is he spending the money? Okay. Just because he likes somebody, he's giving them $250,000. Right. Sure. Because he's expecting something for it. So follow the money in politics. And I don't know how you do it in North Dakota, South Dakota, but there's got to be a way because these politicians, they're getting bought and paid for. It's money, it's financial influence, and that's how they're doing it.
I got a text message from the president of the Farm Bureau. He says, always has been political. We just never realized it for years how we were being incrementally ruined, and now we're just waking up to some of it.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Amen. And what I wanted to do, Scott, all my life, I believe in being honest with people. Okay. And I mean, we call our show The High Road because I need to take the high road in life. I think everybody does, but me especially because, man, I'll get the dirt and fight with you to frickin' drop a hat. But I don't want to do that. Okay. I want to take the high road. I want to say, let's figure out a way that we can get through this stuff, move off through this mud and get things in the right direction. And when I see the corruptness and all, and I think this has been going on all my life. And I've been naive. Okay. I've been unaware that it is about the money, but by God, it's about the money. It's about controlling us through the money. And that's exactly it's what it all is about. And so when we go up to the legislature and we testify on a bill that, hey, we want to legalize crossbows or air guns or defend baiting or whatever the deal is, their minds are already made up before we even get there.
Exactly.
And so we go up there and we think because we're doing our, civic duty to go up and represent our group, our special interest group, their special interest group has already made their mind up. They've already got it through the Senate and all the way through. All they're doing is giving us an opportunity to feel good about our way to be up there and defend whatever it is we're trying to speak about. And all of a sudden, and so we feel, yeah, I went up there and fought them. Yeah, we were already beat before we got there.
Not only exactly here. Again, we're up against our final break of the hour here, Keith. Keith Warren is my guest here. If you'd like to call in, please feel free to do this. If you do so, you're going to automatically put on hold here, 888-932-5682. We'll get to your calls as soon as we can. That again, 888-932-5682. If you'd like to text comments, questions, concerns, you can do that at 701-425-6651. You can also find me live streaming on my YouTube channel as well. More with Keith Warren talking about hunting, politics, and more coming up your way here on Dakota Prairie Outdoors. The DK Red Angus Top Coming to Town production sale, Saturday, March 4th, 2 p.m. at Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota. Selling 70 purebred Red Angus bulls, 6 Angus sired bulls, 40 purebred open heifers, commercial open and bred heifers from the Tofty Ranch, 10 commercial open heifers from Kevin Gunther, and 50 F1 Hereford Red Angus commercial open heifers from the Arrow P Ranch. Bid online at DV Auction. Fresh genetics, calving ease, and good dispositions with the DK Red Angus Top Coming to Town sale, Saturday, March 4th, 2 p.m., Sitting Bull Auction.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
The Sorensen Ranch Production Sale is Monday, March 6th, 1 p.m. Central Time, Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota. The Sorensen Ranch is your source for Simmental bulls that are bred for docility, longevity, fertility, and calves that'll push the scale down. Selling 42 Sim Angus bulls, 50 commercial heifers. If you would like more information, visit their website at sorensenranch.com or find them on Facebook. And you can bid online sale day at DV Auction. The Sorensen Ranch Production Sale, Monday, March 6th, 1 p.m. Central at Sitting Bull Auction, Williston, North Dakota.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
When it comes to picking the right financial institution that best suits your unique banking needs, we invite you to come bank with Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks in 2021, we believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our online and mobile customers, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking. Here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back to this Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, all across the country here, South Dakota, North Dakota, and 6 states, 2 Canadian provinces here across the area and around the world, actually. If you're looking at the YouTube channel, thanks for tuning in. Keith Warren from the High Road Hunting Show is my guest out of Texas. And I'll tell you what, Keith, you and I, during the break, we were discussing CWD. And I've been discussing this for weeks after weeks after weeks. And I want to get your take because, you know, you raise deer. Right. You're a deer farmer. All right.
Yep.
And a lot of people, first off, they're like, oh, no, you know, high fence. Let's get past that. And we moved on to that years after years after years. I was always telling people that if CWD is really that big of a deal, how come they're not looking at EHD that killed off thousands of deer and you might only get 5 deer with CWD or something like that? And they're not dead by any means because the only reason they find is because somebody did a head collection thing. and you donated the head and they found it in that doe or whatever. But there's thousands of deer dying at EHD. Why is it truly, when you say follow the money, if they solve it and cure it and with the help of deer farmers, are they that arrogant and not wanting to work together on this to find a cure for something?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. They want the money. It's about the money. It's not about curing the disease. It's not about finding a reasonable solution for everybody. It's about controlling the money. Okay. And what happens is that whether people like or dislike deer farming, whichever side of the fence that you're on this, I'm the guy who wants to bring everybody together. I want to say, please consider something. If CWD is such an issue if you think that CWD is an issue, and if you think that deer farming is a bad thing, I want to ask you a question. Please let me know, where is a better place on earth to do research for CWD than a deer farm?
Yeah.
And I'm serious. If somebody knows, then please tell me. The answer is there isn't a better place than a deer farm. And deer farmers are controlled so heavily by the states that we test 100% of our animals down here in Texas, 100%. But the cool thing about deer, what this allows us to do, is we look at genetics on white-tailed deer, just like you look at genetics on your cattle. Okay, you know which one's going to have better hair than others, which one have more fat than others, genetically prone to have more fat. Just animals are genetically prone to have more, they may get more disease than others. Well, what we're finding out in white-tailed deer through deer farms, thank God for deer farms to do research, we're finding out that there are genetic strains of white-tailed deer that are more and less susceptible to getting CWD. We know this for a fact. Okay, so from the deer farming industry, now we're making decisions breeding-wise to be able to breed away from susceptibility for CWD. So we're breeding less susceptible deer to CWD. That means that they can have more exposure to the prions, however they get it, okay? And it's going to take them longer to get the disease than these other deer that would get it right away. So we're making scientific steps forward to be able, and we're doing it because of deer farms. Well, wildlife agencies, there's some wildlife agencies don't want a resolution, because if you got a resolution, now how are they going to get the money?
Yeah.
Okay, they want the money. Well, they don't want to fix the problem. If they wanted to fix the problem, they'd figure out, okay, what are we doing here? I mean, because CWD doesn't care about a fence. They don't care about a wall. I mean, the CWD prions are spread all different kinds of ways. And so if you shoot a deer in North Dakota, you fill the back of your pickup, you drive to Colorado to clean it, it had CWD. Guess what? Now, wherever you clean it in Colorado, it's got CWD. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not like it's not that big a deal. But in my opinion, because if it was that big a deal, name me one spot anywhere in the United States, just one, where CWD has decimated the herd. And the answer is you can't do that.
Right.
Okay. And so they're making a big deal. Why? Because of the money.
So as somebody who's traveled all across the nation hunting deer, being a deer farmer, talking with other deer farmers, discussing this all through the areas, in our area, there's two different ways that they're trying to control CWD. Tell me if these are correct or if they're on the right track. One of them is they hire a whole bunch of people to shoot them, and they decimate the entire herd if they feel that there's too many deer in one group. I know that's been done in Minnesota a few times. Okay. I know it's been done in locally in our area too. And the second is that they feel that putting any type of bait or mineral or any type of that out for your deer is also going to spread CWD. Are both of those the correct way that they're going about trying to control CWD, or does that have nothing to do with it?
Both of those are wrong.
Both of them are wrong. Okay.
Both of them are wrong. And let me tell you, in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin, years ago when CWD hit, they went and they killed every deer, every mama, daddy, baby, every deer. And the hunters loved it because, man, the hunters, they can go in there and the wildlife people, come kill them. Come kill them. We've got this horrible disease. Come kill them. We're going to kill out the disease. And they did. They killed out the animals. And it was a very sad time. The gas stations and people that sold hamburgers and the hotels, motels, and everybody suffered because the hunters stopped coming because there were no more animals there. But you know what didn't suffer? The habitat. And the habitat came back like better than ever because there were no deer to eat the little forbs and weeds that grew up. And so all of a sudden you go past all these many, many years and all of a sudden the deer come back. Okay, the reason why the deer come back, because there was an influx of deer from the other habitat that had been overgrazed. Okay, the deer start moving into this new habitat because it was given a rest. It's like resting a pasture. And all of a sudden, these deer come back in, and guess what? Now all of a sudden, they've got to start hunting because, my God, the deer are back. And so is CWD. What the hell?
You mean it didn't
What do you
solve
think?
the problem? I can't believe that.
Right.
Huh.
You think maybe it may be in the environment? So the way to fix it, why don't we just kill off every deer and never allow another deer to be on that piece of property? Okay? Or do we say, you know what? CWD is probably an endemic issue. Okay? It hasn't, I mean, it hasn't killed anybody. It hasn't killed off a deer herd. Maybe we need to learn to maybe just manage it and watch it, because that's what they're doing in Wyoming. They're not doing anything to manage it now. They're just watching it, monitoring it.
And it's been in Wyoming since the 50s.
That's where it started,
Yeah.
Wyoming and Colorado. Okay, and now they've made a decision. They're just monitoring it. I mean, you can't do anything about it.
No.
Okay, you can't. And so, a lack of baiting. Are you serious? Well, what is bait? Well, it's where you throw corn out. Okay, no. Would oats be considered as bait? Would water? If you had, out there in those prairie dog towns, there ain't no water for a mile. What if you put a little guzzler out there? Would that be considered bait?
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is that's not it. And guess where the animals are going to go? Where there's food and water.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just get rid of the food and water, and then guess what we got rid of? And all the animals. Then we don't have the problem at all, do we?
Yeah, I hear you. I agree with you, and it's been one of these issues for many, many years, and I just have an issue because they're okay with spending all the money on CWD, and $70 million annually through 2028 from the U.S. government is going to be spent across the states. So it's going to be divvied up all across the states for CWD research, but zero for EHD research, and I don't get that.
Well, that's where the deer farmers are coming in, because the deer farmers, there is research going on right now to figure out what can be done about EHD. What can we do about it? I mean, and that's a huge issue. I mean, what's sad is that when animals die in the wild, for the most part, people don't even know they die.
Yeah.
Okay, they just vaporize. Okay, it's like, God, I didn't know that cow was dead over there. I mean, you found him; it's just nothing but a skeleton by the time you find it. Well, the cow's a whole lot bigger than a deer. Okay, a deer dies, you don't even know it dies. But at EHD, they die around the water, and people find them because people go around the water, and all of a sudden it starts hitting them. Oh my God, look at all this, and especially the landowner. And it's sad because a lot of times, I mean, it happens right before hunting season. Okay, it just does. So we as deer farmers are doing research to be able to find out why some deer die of EHD and why some don't. I'll tell you this, as a deer breeder, I know that there are certain genetic lines I will not breed. And the reason why, it's not because they won't get big. Oh, they get big, but by the time they're 3 years old down here, they're dead because they die of EHD.
Really? Wow.
And, oh yeah. I mean, it's like every single day, it's like I'll breed with this one line. It's like, oh my God, look how beautiful these deer are at 1 and at 2. Well, you better shoot them at 2 because at 3, they won't live. Okay, because by that time they've gone through it. It's just that they're just not very hardy when it comes to EHD. So we realize this as a deer breeder. Okay, but how do they realize that in the wild with wild deer? They can't. So it's like, don't you think research should be done on deer to be able to figure out, where there possibly is an answer? So wouldn't it be nice if we had an EHD-proof deer? I mean, I don't know if there's such a thing, but if we could breed for an EHD-resistant deer, I think that'd be pretty dang cool. I think everybody'd be for that. How do we do it? I don't know. But it would be nice if we could.
Do you think that some of these deer in the wild, I have a buddy south of Scranton here that he had EHD many years ago, right? And it decimated all of his deer in that area. But this 2 years ago, when I had it up here for the first time, his deer had no problem with it. Do you think that these deer in the wild can get a immunization? Can they grow out of it?
I think some can.
I think
Absolutely.
so too. I think so too.
I think some can. And you know what? And maybe that's where we have to think. The strong will survive. Yeah. Okay. We have made all these, we've made all these vaccines and all these different things to shoot people up and shoot our animals up to keep them alive. I'm thinking, we got a bunch of weak animals, a bunch of weak people and stuff. And I'm thinking, I don't mean to be ugly or anything else. I mean, just to say, there used to be the strong's going to survive. Okay. And the thing about it is, I have to believe that genetically we've got some really strong animals. Why in a deer farm, when all of a sudden one animal out of 300 will have CWD but they go and they kill all 300? Why? What's the madness about that? Don't you think that maybe one of them in there is Superman that has some kind of resistant markers that it'd be like, holy crap, and you just killed it just to make sure it wasn't sick?
Right.
I mean, there's research that can be done, good research for mankind, for the future of the species, for our country, for our private property owner rights, and they go kill them. So I think before all these regulations are done, why doesn't somebody talk some sense into these people?
Well, let's go to the phone lines here. I believe Wayne's on the phone line. Wayne, you tried calling my cell phone and you figured out I can't answer that.
Yes, I'm sorry.
You bet. Wayne, you're on with Keith Warren. Go ahead.
Well, you guys are talking about fair chase, and since we've been on talking about it, and since I'm a fiscal measure, and that's a standard by which we follow, I wanted to bring to light, and not to start any big discussion or anything, but really, if Pope and Young and Boone and Crockett, which I'm a fiscal measure of Pope and Young, if they're setting a standard and there's something to go by, this is probably how they would define it. It's a set of standards on how we should act when we're hunting, and it extends beyond the law, and it's personal on how we carry it. It's more of the spirit of the hunt. You can't legislate it, and it's how you represent that activity that you're doing. And I think Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young feel that fair chase unites people behind a particular standard. So any activity, if we think about it, that is worthwhile doing, there are rules and there are standards and order. If fair chase does just that, without these rules, it becomes chaos and becomes unacceptable to the participants and also to the observers from the outside. And I think in today's world, we have to be careful of how outside observers look at us, because we, like you guys discussed, you have to follow the money where things go.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to just tell you this: the Boone and Crockett record book is totally different than the Pope and Young record book. Okay, and these record books evolve; they have to evolve. Okay, and what I mean by that, look at Pope and Young and look at the compound bow. Okay, go back historically and take a look at that. Okay, things evolve. Take a look at the Safari Club record book is completely different than the Boone and Crockett Pope and Young record book. So what happens is we have divided ourselves, and we continue to divide ourselves as hunters into this group or that group. And when you start making choices that you're in this group or that group, all of a sudden your group is more important or better than the other groups, and those guys aren't doing it right. Our group's doing it right. And what I've always said, it's like, hey, I'm glad you're a hunter, man. If you want to hunt with a long gun and you want to shoot an animal in Boone and Crockett, it's okay to kill an animal at 900 yards. That's fair chase. Okay, that's cool. I've done it. Okay, but Pope Young doesn't think that's fair. Okay, but then so how do you? Which club do you want to join in on? And that's whatever club you join in on. I understand that, but that doesn't mean that club is right for everybody. It doesn't mean that the other clubs are wrong. What I'm trying to say is that, you know what? It's like I've done it all. I've shot animals at a long distance. Okay, I hunt with a bow and a compound and with a crossbow. I hunt with everything. And so last fall I started hunting with a spear. Okay, and I'm catching hell now because guess what? That's not fair chase, huh? Because that's too close. It's like, give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
Okay, so which club do you want to be a member of?
Well, I think, and if you look at the record books, the Pope and Young and Boone and Crockett, it is, if anything you take that is legally taken, and for Boone and Crockett, you can also have pickups, pickup heads. If anything that's legally taken can be entered. So that's fair. And one thing about the Boone and Crockett Club in particular is that their databases are used by game and fish departments in looking at trends in mature animals and animals in general, whether it's a certain county of a state, whether it is a certain area. They'll call these clubs and they'll say, what do you guys have for data on this? They have a 130 plus year database that they've established over years. And that's where these clubs have more than just a record book piece. It's a data piece. It is where hunters use to look for areas of preference where they may want to hunt. A lot of good information there. So, but for fair chase, like I mentioned, it's a individual piece. There's no doubt, and what you want to do with that. But and there's nothing wrong with that. If you shoot something with a spear and it makes Boone and Crockett, I would think it probably would be entered, or could be.
Yeah, but I've always been. I've killed some big stuff in my life. Thank God, I've been really lucky. But I'm not a trophy hunter. Okay, I'm not. Okay, I'm a hunter. But somebody say, how many book animals you got? Every one I've killed in the book. What? My book. That's the only book that to me matters. Okay, I'm not doing this for a medal. I'm not doing this for any recognition from any other group or club or anything else. If they like me, fine. If they don't, fine. I'm doing it. I put it in my book. And I think as a hunter, I think they need to look at their book first. Okay, I've seen so many hunters like, man, I won't shoot him. He's about 3 inches short of the book. What? That's an 8.5-year-old deer, and you're not going to shoot him because you just broke off a G2? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Is the book more important than the hunt?
Yeah.
And I agree. I don't think we should get caught up on the head size. And one of the things I think people should think about if they're thinking about entering a head, if my grandpa would have had one in there, I could go in and maybe that head is no longer around. My grandpa may not be around anymore, but I could go in and look at it and say, hey, look at grandpa had here. I mean, those are historical things that you could have as a family as well. So just keep that in mind, I think. Not only in a personal record booking, but these national record books. But thanks, Scott. I'll let you guys go. Appreciate taking my call.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Wayne. Appreciate you. Thank you for calling in. So again, 888-932-5682. Getting down to the last 90 seconds here, Keith, of the radio program here. So on a good note there, on a high note, some exciting stuff going on this year. Where are you planning coming up this way, hunting up in the northern side of the country?
Well, I'm working on it right now. I'm working on a schedule for. I'm going to be over in the Broadus, Montana area hunting with my buddy over there. I've been over there for 20-something years, and I'm actually looking for a place over in South Dakota that I can come after that. And honestly, God, I've hunted birds and prairie dogs over there, and I did that one deer hunt you got me lined up on over there years and years ago. But I'm looking for a place that I can, when I leave Montana and I start heading eastward, because I've got to go to Minnesota to see a sponsor over there, I can stop off and do a hunt over there. So anybody listening, call me. Okay, I'm looking for a place, but no, we just got back from Spain. Spain was an awesome trip. But, with the recession that supposedly we don't have, that I think we all know that we have, our business, we've kind of cut back as far as the amount of travel we're planning. Going to be doing a whole lot more stuff around home. But I'll tell you what, Scott, the thing that blows my mind is we've almost got 1 million subscribers now on YouTube. We're uploading videos, multiple videos every single week on YouTube and Facebook, and it is allowing us to reach out to people and cause them to think, cause them to connect, cause them to make some positive things that are good for the future of hunting. And so it is the digital media world. And sometimes we get caught up in looking at all the negative, but I want to look at the positive and say, this allows us to touch people that didn't even know we existed. And that's going to be the future. We need to change people's minds and hearts that what we do is the right thing for land and wildlife and for the future of our country.
Keith, I always appreciate you taking time to come on the radio program and stick with me here a little bit longer on YouTube after the show here. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You betcha.
All right. Keith Warren from the High Road Huntings program. You can find it all over. Eat some meat, drink some milk. Have yourself a great weekend. Radio stations, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. We're going to continue a little bit here on YouTube, Keith. Not a whole lot. I got a couple text messages that I just want to make sure to get into you. And let's see here. First one is, wow, kick-ass show, bringing hunters together with the best information out there. Keep up the good work, guys. So that's one of them. And let's see. By the way, here's what's happening with the 50 calendar hunting issue and why we pulled the bill. So there was a 50 cal bill in North Dakota. In North Dakota, there's a certain, you have to have a 22, it's a minimum of 22 caliber up to a certain caliber, right? He says it's not going to go public with it until all the proclamations are finished. But I'm not going to say the name here, one of the guys in the state agency followed through on the deal he made with another guy here. So good Friday to you. He says, just giving an update on that whole thing. So we'll get into that here probably next week. But yeah, Other than that, a couple of people just thanking you for coming on the program and telling it like it is. So I just want to make sure to get those comments out to you before I leave you there, Keith.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity to do this, Scott. I mean, it's been way too damn long since we got together, and I was Maddie's wedding. It's just, I'd like to come up there and do something. Well, like I said, we'll be in Montana. I actually hunt in Wyoming, but we stay in Montana. And I've got our Modern Sporting Rifle company that we deal with is out of Alexandria, Minnesota. So,
sure. Yep.
It is about a 1,150-mile drive from where we're going to be deer hunting. But what I was planning on doing when I get done deer hunting over there in that region, start heading eastward. And I was hoping to be able to find a place over there that I can hunt deer or antelope or something. But you're the only connection I've got.
Well, I tell you this, if you want to hunt antelope in South Dakota, my South Dakota listeners out here right now, I'm sure that we can find and get you lined up. I mean, especially through the Hardin County area and the western side of we got text message coming in. I think we can line this up for you, Keith. So
I'd love to do that. And see, and let me tell you, some friends of ours we were fishing with the other day, she showed me some pictures. They were doing an antelope hunt over there in South Dakota, and she was hunting with a bow behind horses, and they were taking these horses and walking, using the horses kind of as a decoy, walking behind it. It was the coolest thing. I thought, God, I'd love to do that. That would just really be cool. But what we try to do is we try to show as many different places as we can, many different hunting methods as we can, because what I truly believe, I was put on this earth to help protect the future of hunting and fishing for future generations. Yeah. And so what I do is I use the different channels that I've got to be able to hopefully expose more people to what we do, and hopefully encourage more people to stand up and get engaged and protect what they're doing in the outdoors, and to take more people to the outdoors.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just let me know. I mean, if you get a tag for the western side of South Dakota, just let me know what area you get a tag for. I'm pretty sure we'll do that. And Dixie and I also have a place down in the Black Hills if you need a place to crash on your way across. Okay. And we could even meet up or something like that. But yeah, we could do that.
Well, I if I got to put in for a tag, I need to clearly know where to put in and what unit and all that kind of stuff. I have no connections literally with a landowner, and that's one of the very few areas that I don't. I mean, I'm real well connected in Idaho and Montana and Wyoming.
They're good people down there. Yeah, they're good people. And the western side of South Dakota, there's such good people, and I know quite a few of them. I'm pretty sure we could get that lined up with no problem. I really do. I mean, I would appreciate that. Yeah, I got a Buffalo rancher guy that I know for a fact he'd let you come on there with no problem. So.
Yeah, I just need to, what it is, you know what? We have a lot of friends out there that we haven't met yet. Okay. And I'm looking to meet friends, and I'm looking to, I'm just looking to get out there and to help move things in the right direction. I'll put it that way.
All right. I got a text message from the best coon hunter in the state of North Dakota. He says, let's take Keith coon hunting down at your place here when he comes across the area.
You can't say that word. That's
what?
Story. Okay, let me tell you what I want.
Okay, sorry.
It's a raccoon. I put on Facebook a picture of a bunch of raccoons underneath the deer feeder, like 15 of them. Yeah. And I said something like, you ever seen this many coons underneath the feeder at one time? They took it down because they said I was a racist. I thought, are you freaking kidding me? I'm thinking, come on. So, I mean, by the way, I don't know if anybody's eaten raccoon, but it's pretty dang good. I ain't kidding. I mean, if we're making a video on that, people go, ugh. But you know what? It is pretty good. Yeah. I mean, doing a coon hunt, coon hunts, I love doing coon hunts. But if we do a coon hunt, guess what? We're going to have to do something else too. Because, I mean, the coon hunt, we're kind of a big game hunting shelter. If we do like coon hunt, we got to shoot the hell out of them, because like we do with prairie dogs. I can't do they don't want me to ever do any more prairie dogs on YouTube, don't you?
Yeah, I know. You told me about that last year. Yeah. But I'll tell you this right now. You're the only one ballsy enough to show the footage that you do.
Well, hell yeah. It's like, you know what? That's what happens. I mean, that's what happens when you make a good shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Marty, he says, he says, coon. He says, tell Keith we're going for sure now. So
yeah. Well, tell him to get a hold of me.
yeah. No, that's no problem. I'll look into the pronghorn antelope up here in South Dakota area, and I'll see what I can line up for you and see what information you need, and go from there. I mean, are you looking to use rifle or archery?
Yes.
Okay, so archery tags you can get somewhat over the counter, and be able to get that. The rifle tags a little bit different. I'll have to check in on that.
Yeah, what I need to do is I just need it needs to obviously be in the right season. I think we'd be coming through there in the middle of October. So I don't know if it's bow or gun or whatever it is, but it would be the middle of October,
okay,
and whatever the regs are. So
yeah, South Dakota has archery for like a couple weeks, and then they close the archery for the rifle, and then the archery picks back up, and I'll have to check the dates on that, and I'll get all that information for you. I'll let you know.
That'll work.
Hey man, I better roll. I gotta head up to Williston, up to the Bakken, and do a bull sale. So yeah.
All right. What are you doing? Auction? You're doing the auction on it?
Yeah. All that good stuff.
Well, be careful on your drive, and hopefully that snowstorm doesn't come down and hit you all too hard, and hopefully your calving goes well. You got plenty of hay?
I got plenty of hay so far. I didn't expect to start feeding in November, but I did. So, but fortunately, I have hay on hand, and yeah, it's all going pretty good.
All right. Well, tell Dixie I said hi, and y'all take care. If there's something I can do to help you, just let me know. And I appreciate you, Scott. Thank you for what you do for outdoorsmen, but more importantly, thank you for your friendship.
And thank you. I appreciate your friendship as well, Keith. Have yourself a good weekend, man.
All right. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right. Hey, stations, YouTube. Thank you guys for hanging with me. I really do appreciate that. Everybody that's texting me, I will give you a call here as I got like 6 people that I need to call. Hope I'm not in trouble. Have yourself a good weekend. See you in Williston.